Welcome to Orvar Mirror Realm. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, we'll keep on this one. Like this, we've got a conditional counterspell. We've got Hedron Archive, got a little bit of action with Orvar and Leap. All we need is some creatures, so hopefully we can draw into that. Other than that, it's a good hand, so we'll keep on this one. Opponent's on the play, and we're playing against a new commander too, which should be a pretty fun match. Just going to lead off with... Actually, we'll save Prismatic Vista, just in case we have some sort of shuffle effect. So, anything else, we'll pass the turn. We're playing Orvar, the all form. Sorry, there's too many A's in there. My brain's just trying to jam them all into one in the first word. That's going to be Quest for the Gravelord. Oh, just love that name. Changeling, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. Actually, we'll cover that in just a second. So, it's going to lead off with Augur of Bolas. Yeah, that's going to be good. Let's go for Augur. Look at the top 3 cards of our library. See if we hit an instant or sorcery off of that. Brainstorm. That is perfect. Exactly what we want to see. Put those on the bottom in any order. Anything else, pass the turn. We're playing Orvar, the all form. Changeling. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets one or more creatures, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. Then, whenever a spell or ability an opponent causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. So that's going to be Duress. And yeah, there's nothing that we can do about that. If they want to, they've got interesting choice. They can take Brainstorm. That's going to be some card advantage. Or if they want to, make sure that Tegrid is going to stay on the battlefield, they can go for getting rid of Delay. So we'll see what they end up going for. But either way, we'll still be in some sort of good spot, even if they want to take Hedron Archive. No matter what they take, we'll still be in some sort of path along the game plan. So Hedron Archive, we can certainly live with that. We've got 3 more land drops to make. So we are good to go on that. That's going to be another island. So I think at this point, what we end up doing is probably going for Brainstorm. Yeah, let's do that. Let's jam a quick Brainstorm just to kind of see what's on top of our library. That's going to be Quick Change, Cyclonic Rift, which I actually really do like Cyclonic Rift. So let's put Ghostly Flicker back on top. We'll put Quick Change back on top. Yeah, we're okay at that. So let's go Prismatic Vista. Let's go and crack Prismatic Vista so that way we don't forget. Let's get ourselves an island on the battlefield and then anything else past turn. No, excuse me. We're going to swing it for 1. Let's go Augur, go. Knock them down to 29. We have the Augur of Bolas line of play established. I know they're shaking in their boots. Playing against Tegrid. I think that's how you say it. Could be wrong. Don't go off of what I say. Menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card on from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Then for the back end, that's going to be target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice an online permanent or discard a card. Then for a 4-mana activation, untap it. So there we go. See what we draw to for the turn. That's going to be Pongify. That is certainly welcome. Let's make the land drop. That's going to be Island. Let's go and push in for 1 with Augur. There we go. Swinging it for 1. 28 more turns, and we've got this. And do we want to go for Orvar? That's going to jack it up to 6 if they have spot removal. I mean, we've got the lands to leave up Delay. Yeah, I think we're okay with this. So let's just do this. Let's just pass the turn. I like leaving up Delay. They know we have it. And so that way they have to play around it. And we'll kind of see what else they roll out. Because it would be a bummer just to go for Orvar and not have any sort of protection. So... anyways, we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that's going to apply my affiliate link. So next time you're getting some cards, hey, consider using that. If you do, much obliged. Also, give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play the brand new set on Magic Online, they have all the cards that you may need. Also, give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/Jolt. That's going to give you 10% off of any sort of gaming accessories they have. No propane accessories yet, but we're working on it. If I can just get into the board meeting and tell them they need to get propane accessories. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge one day. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it's officially free time. So let's have some fun. Yeah, we're in no rush right now. Our opponent's missing their land drop, so we're just going to keep doing that. Let's go for Homeward Path. Actually, we'll go for Island first. And then once again, let's go and swing in for 1. I like it. All right, we're going to go and swing it for 1. It's going to knock our opponent down to 27. Augur of Bolas, he's going to take down our commander. Anything else? Pass the turn. Yeah, we want to go for Orvar with some protection, so I kind of like going for that. Then once we do untap with Orvar, we do have Leap, and you know, it's nice to get copies of like really good creatures like Sword of Temptation, but, you know, just being able to go for Leap, get a copy of Augur, get that draw card ability, you know, just setting up that nice incremental value as a blue control deck, it just gives you something to do in the early game. You know, you're not going to win the game going for this, but you can just slowly build up that incremental value. So let's see what this is going to be. And this is going to be a 2/2 black zombie. I think we're okay with that. Worst case scenario, we just Pongify that if we're that worried about it. And that'll be a 3/3 ape. Yeah, we're cool with that. So do we want to do anything? Do we want to Pongify that right now? Or do we want to, I think we just want to save it for our opponent's commander. So let's do that. Let's see what we draw into for the turn. Ooh, and that's going to be Stroke of Genius. So definitely something that we can work towards. So let's go for make Homeward Path land drop. Let's go for Orvar. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And now we do have protection with delay. So anything else past the turn. Not going to swing in with Augur. If they want to swing in and get an extra zombie token, they can. We do have Aetherize in here. We've got Cyclonic Rift that we're building towards. So even if they do end up building some sort of board state where they've either taken a lot of our creatures or, you know, whatever that may be, Cyclonic Rift is going to send everything back to the owner's hand. So if our opponent does end up going for a wheel effect, we might be able to utilize that with Cyclonic Rift somehow. Well, not a wheel effect, but you get what I'm saying. So, but as far as the deck goes, you know, this is kind of like not Sultai, I just got done recording a Sika. This is just kind of mono blue Spellslinger. We do have some of the base Spellslinger options in here. We've got Talrand that, you know, doesn't really work super well with Orvar. We've got Murmuring Mystic, we've got Dawson of Perfection. And so you can see where if you get to the late game and you can use something like Leap on one of those creatures, it really does help you out, at least kind of building up some sort of board state. So it's going to be Liliana's Reaver. Swinging in, that's going to get a 2/2 zombie. We're not super worried about this at this point. Eventually, yeah, we do need to discard a card, so I guess we'll get rid of... We haven't seen spot removal yet. Yeah, let's get rid of Colosseum, because we should be able to hit a land off of that. So it's going to be an extra zombie on the battlefield. And since we have no other creatures, we'll wait to... Well, we can wait for their end step. If they don't tap their mana down or tap out for one of their commander or anything like that, we'll probably end up going for Leap on Augur, because that'll give us the option to get another copy of Augur and at least kind of dig a little bit deeper. All right, so it's going to be To the Slaughter. And yeah, we're going to go for that. So let's go Leap on Augur of Bolas. So it's going to be an extra copy of Augur of Bolas. We can actually sacrifice that token. Let's look at the top 3. We'll definitely take Arcane Denial, and we'll put those on the bottom in any order. Draw an additional card. That's going to be, there we go, got the land drop for next turn. And what we'll do is we'll sacrifice this token. There we go. Look at that. Felt pretty good. All right, that's going to be an extra counter on Quest for the Grave Lord. And we'll take a look at that here in just a second. That way we don't forget about it, because sometimes that does happen when you're recording and doing different things like that. So, okay, so we've got Center of the Sea. We've got Phyrexian Metamorph entering the battlefield as a copy of Liliana's Reaver. And then we could always end up going for a Pongify on that. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can pay 3 and still leave up delay and have Pongify. Yeah, I like that. So let's do that. So we're going to have it enter the battlefield as a copy of Liliana's Reaver. And at this point, yeah, we're simply just going to pass the turn. Actually, we'll go and swing in with Orvar. And, you know, 3 damage does add up. And I like the 1/3 being able to block on the zombie token. All right, so we're swinging in for 3. That's going to knock our opponent down to 24. And then I'll kind of talk about the line of play that we've got going on with Liliana's Reaver. I think this will work this way. So let's pass it back over. We do have Arcane Denial and Delay to stop this turn. We actually have 2 counter spells. But if we end up going for Pongify, yeah, so if we end up going for Pongify on Liliana's Reaver, that's going to be a copy of Phyrexian Metamorph. Well, either way, it's going to enter. We're going to make a copy of Liliana's Reaver. At least we can trade with that. So it's going to be Enchanted Creature. Target player discards 2 cards. I don't really think we're that worried about Ordeal. Put a +1 counter on it. And that's going to give him a 3/3 if we end up going for Pongify on that zombie token. Actually, let's do this. Let's go for Arcane Denial. Yeah, I like that. Let's go Arcane Denial. Let's kind of keep that zombie at a 2/2. I think that's going to be pretty important for us. And that's going to be Sword of the Animist. And yeah, I think we're going to, well, if we end up delaying on that, actually, yeah, we're cool with that because we don't want to give them extra zombie tokens. Okay, so we're going to go for that. That's going to burn all of our counter spells, but we're at the point now with Stroke of Genius to where we can really get some good stuff done. So it's going to be Liliana's Reaver swinging in for a 4/3 and a 2/2 zombie. So let's go Augur of Bolas block. And yeah, I think I like making this trade. I'm cool with that. We do need to find another creature, but we got Stroke of Genius, so we can get some stuff done. Oh, and then Quest for the Grave Lord. Remove 3 quest counters from it, create a 5/5 zombie. Okay, there we go. So they're going to have that active. But either way, we got rid of Liliana's Reaver, which is the important thing. So, but yeah, if you've never built mono blue, it is it's definitely it's going to be a controlled deck because you need to run counter spells. But I'm really digging this build of this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. So, all right, see what we're going to. That's going to be 2 card draw for our opponent. And we've got just enough for Cyclonic Rift. So if we want to reset the board state on these tokens, we might end up doing that. So let's give our opponent 2 card draw. We're going to cash in an extra card draw. We're just looking for a land drop at this point right now, or something that can target Augur of Bolas. Ooh, and that's going to be Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay. So let's go Jace. Tap down 1 more. Let's have Jace enter the battlefield. And we're going to go for the Brainstorm ability. Yeah, I like this. So let's go Brainstorm on Jace. That's going to be Force of Will, Reliquary Tower, and Island. So let's put Reliquary Tower back on top. And let's put Telling Time back on top. So let's make the land drop for the turn. That's going to be Island. Yeah, and I think at this point, we just passed the turn. We do have Counterspell Magic for their commander. And we've got a pretty decent little board state developed. If we need to end up going for Pongify on something like Zombie Giant or something like that, we can. But yeah, we'll see how this shakes out. So anything, yeah, let's pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, outside of the token enablers for the deck, we do have a ton of just really good utility creatures in here. We've got, pretty sure, let me see. So we've got Augur of Bolas. So you kind of have this subset of creatures that enter the battlefield and do something. We have Mancer that's going to return instant or sorceries back from our graveyard to our hand. We've got Snapcaster that's going to give us that extra option. You just want to run some sort of utility package of creatures that have some sort of enter the battlefield effect. That way you can get that nice incremental value as the game goes on. Then once you get to the late game, we also have the Peregrine Drake. And this is actually the first time I'm playing with Drake in a deck like this, but it's, I mean, if you can... we don't really have any combos set up other than maybe setting up a good Stroke of Genius, but that's pretty much what we're going for with the deck. So this is going to be Arcane Signet for 2. And let's see what this is going to be. This is going to be Demon of Wailing. Good gosh. All right, so that's going to be a 4/4 that we can cash in with a Pongify. I think we're cool with that. Because then we're going to set up like a Cyclonic Rift. Yeah, I think that'll work out. So we'll see how they decide to swing in on this one. That's going to be a 5/5 coming across. I think we can still end up making the trade with Augur of Bolas. So let's go Pongify on Demon. That way, if we do hit the reset button, we're still online. Force of Will, Jace, Cyclonic Rift. Yes, I like this. So it's going to be 5/5. Let's go and toss Augur of Bolas in front of that Zombie Giant. Because we want to be able to reset with Jace on the battlefield. So we still have Orvar, and that's going to be the important thing. Okay, and they've got a whole motley crew of their Zombie Giant, Ape, and a Zombie. I love it. So let's go for Jace the Mind Sculptor. Let's go for the 0 ability. Ooh, and then we run into Drake. Okay, so we don't have the land drop to make for the turn, so let's put Lightning Greaves on top. And if we're going to be online for Force of Will, that's going to be us getting rid of Stroke of Genius. Yeah, I think we need to put Reliquary Tower back on top. So if we go for Drake, we're going to be able to basically have a free spell. Yeah, I like going for an overloaded Cyclonic Rift. Yeah, I think this is going to work out. All right, so we're going to go Cyclonic Rift. It's going to get rid of all of those tokens. Let's go and swing in for a 3/3. And then we still have Force of Will on Telling Time, so that'll work out. There we go. All right, so swinging it for a 3. I'm just going to knock our opponent down to 21, and then anything else past the turn. But yeah, like I mentioned, we have some nice enter the battlefield early creatures, just getting that nice incremental value. As far as the targeting package in this deck, this is definitely mono blue control first. We do have spells that can target these creatures, get that extra value, but what we're going for is basically just being able to, once we have the mana established, once we have the late game established, just get that nice, pop a creature here or there, get that creature onto the battlefield. If you're building Orvar and you go so heavy, Hypnotic Spectre. And that's going to be a 2/2, but yeah, with the Drake, we're at least going to be able to stop that. So, and it doesn't have haste, so we can definitely survive off of that and still kind of keep going for the Jace the Mind Sculptor line. Cohesive Portal. That might get Force of Will out of our hands. So let's do that. So we're going to exile 1. Yeah, we want to cut off the card advantage for our opponent. So let's go for Force of Will. There we go. And we'll end up going for Drake next turn. And that's going to be Reliquary Tower. So let's go for Jace the Mind Sculptor. And we definitely have Mystic Sanctuary online. So let's see. Let's go for Lightning Greaves. Actually, we'll do this. We'll go Thought Vessel on top. Lightning Greaves on top. Let's make the land drop. Do we want to put Mystic Sanctuary on top? I think we can hold on that because we actually want to use Mystic Sanctuary for Leap. So we might do that with Jace next turn. So let's make the land drop this turn with the Reliquary Tower. Let's go for Drake. That's going to be a free spell and keep us open on... Yeah, I like that. So let's do that. Let's go for Drake. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And we're going to untap 5 lands. So let's untap the lands that we just tapped down. Okay, there we go. Anything else? We're going to go ahead and pass the turn. We can go and swing in for a 3-3. So, I mean, we're getting there with commander damage. Slowly but surely. I'm just going to swing across for a 3-3. That's going to knock them down to 9 total commander damage, knock them down to 18. And then anything else past the turn. So, we've got a really nice stroke of genius. We're able to go for that. Unfortunately, we've already burned Force of Will. I don't know if we have any other free counter spells in here. I'm going to try to look real quick. But we'll see. But you can see, simply being able to get, leap on the Drake to get that extra ability. It's always a nice feeling. So, all right, that's going to be Sword of the Animus, which, oh, that's a bummer. It's going to come down and then be able to equip immediately. So that's going to be Mana Crypt, and we'll see what else they end up going for. But yeah, this is pretty cool, for mono blue. It's not just counterspell.deck. You have a lot of stuff that you can do, making copies of Phyrexian Metamorph, different things like that. Let's go for Stroke of Genius. We're going to choose ourselves. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's see if they have any payoff spell. Let's do this first. They've got 2 cards in the hand. We're not going to be able to counter their commander unless we just leave up 3 mana on a hope and a wish that we hit that counter spell. I'd rather hit that card draw. So let's just do this. If they've got some sort of wheel effect, we might just kind of Stroke of Genius, and then that way we can go for Homeward Path to gain control of it. I think that sounds like a good plan. Now we will, unfortunately, that's going to be a 3-3. Yeah, let's do this. So we're going to go for Stroke of Genius. We're going to choose ourselves on this one. We're going to tap down across the entire board, and that's going to be 5. Yeah, we still want to leave up Homeward Path, so let's do that. Let's go Stroke of Genius. Okay, so that's not bad. We've got Spell Seeker, that's going to allow us to find some other spells. Sword of Temptation is going to allow us to possibly gain control of our opponent's stuff. But we're going to let that 3-3 come in. And they decided to swing at us with Sword of the Animus. So we're going to let that go through. So we do have to discard 2 cards. Let's go ahead and get rid of Gilded... Oh, it's at random. Okay, Sword of Temptation. That's a little bit of a bummer. We can make that work. And they're going to gain control of it. Okay, so it's going to be Sword of Temptation, enters the battlefield. Let's see what they decide to target, and then we'll go for Homeward Path activation at the end step. Yeah, they're going to gain control of Orvar, and we'll see if they have any sort of wheel effect at this point. Okay, so that's just going to be Spectre, so that's going to come down. And the only thing that we don't want on Liliana's Spectre is if they hit Mystic Sanctuary. That's going to be... Oh, we just have to discard a card. That doesn't matter. All right, there we go. So we're good on that. So let's get rid of... I guess Gilded Lotus. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of mana. I'm not really feeling that at this point. Oh, and then also we can gain it back. Yeah, I like that. So they're going to get Gilded Lotus. We're going to be able to gain it back. Oh, look at that. Look at Homeward Path putting in some work. And we'll see if they have anything else. If they want to extend into something else, that's still going to give us Homeward Path to go for. Oh, and excuse me, this is just going to be creature. So, yeah, unfortunately, the Gilded Lotus was only to their advantage. Yeah, a little bit of a sequencing error on my part. So, all right, so let's go for the Homeward Path activation, gain control of our creatures. There we go. Get the Drake back, get Sword of Temptation back. We've got the Mystic Sanctuary line of play, and let's see what else we draw to. Hull Breacher. Okay. So let's go Mystic Sanctuary on Leap. Yeah, I like that. We could rift everything back to their hand. That does sound pretty good. It's going to go back on top. Yeah, actually, I think I kind of like hitting that reset button. All right, so let's go Cyclonic Rift. We're going to put that back on top. Let's go and draw with Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yes, definitely going to use that ability. We're going to draw 3 cards, draw into Cyclonic Rift, because I think that's going to give us a better option. We're going to be able to get in for 7. All right, opponent's going to scoop it up on that one. There we go. Yeah, Cyclonic Rift going back on top. We're going to be able to go Cyclonic Rift, send everything back to the hand, swing it for 7. That's going to drop them down to 11. And then with Jace, Really, all we need to do, well, it's not going to let us, there we go. So we draw into Cyclonic Rift. There we go. Like I mentioned, something like Shadow Rift with Drake that's going to allow us to untap. We go for Rise from the Tides. It's only a matter of time before we draw into something else that's going to allow us to kind of rebuild our board state and kind of go from there. So there we go. Closed it out. Got the Augur of Bolas game plan going just for a little bit. But you can see where, even against a commander like our opposing commander, simply being able to have Homeward Path, being able to get our creatures back is such a good feeling. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.